Once, in a large monastery in China, around 500 monks were dedicated to the path of self-realization under their Zen master. One day, a man arrived, seeking to become a disciple. He approached the master and said, "Sir, I want to know myself. I want to know the truth." The master looked at him and replied, "If you wish to know the truth, you must be prepared to stake your entire life. It may take your whole life to discover it, and there's no guarantee you will find it even then. Are you ready for that?" The man answered, "I have come here with no intention of turning back. I am ready." The master said, "Very well. There are 500 monks in this monastery, and they all need food. From now on, your only task is to pound rice for them. You will do this from morning until night. When you're tired, sleep, and when you wake up, start pounding rice again. Do not come to me and don't think about anything else. I will come to you when the time is right." The man obeyed. Day after day, he woke up early and pounded rice until nightfall. He neither spoke to anyone nor did anyone speak to him. For the first few months, thoughts filled his mind, but with no new distractions, those thoughts gradually faded. Over time, his mind became still. Years passed, and he even forgot his own name. He continued to pound rice in a state of thoughtlessness. He didn't meditate, nor did he read any scriptures. The other disciples saw him as foolish and inferior. 12 years went by. One day the Zen master announced, "My time is approaching and I must choose my successor, the one who has attained self-realization. Any disciple who believes they have reached enlightenment should write a few lines near my door tonight, summarizing their experience." Many disciples considered this an opportunity. One of the chief disciples, well versed in Buddhist scriptures and regarded by many as the most likely successor, went ahead. He wrote, "The mind is like a mirror on which the dust of thoughts and desires gathers. Meditation is the act of sweeping away this dust. When the dust is gone, the mind becomes clear and one attains salvation." The next morning, the master saw the lines and became furious. "Which fool has written this nonsense on my wall?" he exclaimed. Though the lines were wise, they were based on intellectual knowledge rather than direct experience. The chief disciple had not signed his name, for even he was unsure of his realization. The master's rejection surprised everyone in the monastery, and it became a topic of widespread discussion. Two monks were discussing the incident as they passed the rice pounder. Hearing them, the rice pounder smiled quietly. Surprised, they asked, "Why are you laughing? You've never studied or meditated like the rest of us." The rice pounder replied, "I laughed because the master is right. Those lines are worthless." Stunned, the monks asked, "Can you write something better?" The rice pounder responded, "I can't write because I am illiterate. But if you're willing, I can dictate a few lines and you can write them down." The monks agreed. They went to the master's door and the rice pounder recited, "The mind is an illusion. There is no mind and no mirror to clear. When the mind doesn't exist, where can dust settle? He who knows this has realized the truth." The next night, when the master saw these lines, he rose from his bed, found the rice pounder, and woke him. "Take this," he said, handing him his stick and robe. "From today, you are my successor. But you must leave the monastery immediately. Many scholars here believe they are superior to you, and they may harm you because they cannot accept that a simple rice pounder has achieved enlightenment while they have not. You have gained everything I have to offer, and you did so while pounding rice. Wherever you go, people will come to you. When a flower blooms, its fragrance spreads." The rice pounder touched his master's feet, accepted his robe and stick, and left the monastery that night. This story reminds us that meditation doesn't have to be confined to sitting in silence. It can be practiced in any activity as long as one is fully absorbed in the present moment. True meditation is being so deeply involved in what you are doing that you lose all sense of self, just as the rice pounder did. Zen means living in the present without the interference of thoughts. When thoughts vanish, the mind vanishes, and what remains is your true self. We don't need any special spiritual practices to realize our true nature. We just need to be completely immersed in whatever we are doing, allowing our work itself to become meditation.